a lot of people find a lot of ways to justify the Bible, and I used to be the same way, and I found hundreds of ways to justify it. But for every way I could justify it, I could find something else that was just wrong with it. And I don't want to go through all that because I already did all that research. I fought my hardest to protect it. And I came all the way up to this point now that I'm about to be 36 in a few weeks. So I'm right back at the beginning. I realized that I can't really trust it. And for the most part, the main reason is because most people want to isolate us to one piece of land across the world, when even that same book says that we was the peoples who showed the rest of the world how to survive. And peoples who teaching the whole world how to survive is not isolated to one little piece of land that you can barely see on the map. We are from throughout the whole world. Our footprint and our fingerprint is all over the world, and even outside of the earth. A lot of people want to act like we just now went in space in the 60s or 40s or whenever, 60s I guess. Want to act like that's the first time man ever went out in space. That's not true. Our fingerprint is throughout this universe, and the problem is the reason why we can't really remember or go back to being who we were is because of the old trick of dividing and conquering. So when we all thinking that we came from the continent of Africa and the Middle East, but we start to feel like we was limited to that place, then it's going to take us far from where we really supposed to be, because most people would agree and say that the life started in Africa and it spread it abroad. So that for one would make us all family, for one. But just say that theory is not correct. Let's just say that it's that more than one person was born when the earth first came about, which I do believe. I believe that was lots of people's placed here in the beginning. It wasn't just two peoples. I don't really buy that, because it just wouldn't make sense. But right now today, we are using all of the great knowledge from the ancient times: medicine, language, astronomy, everything that we do now is based on ancient knowledge, and none of it is new. So the problem is when a religion come to me and tell me to believe a lot of things, but don't go to Egypt, don't believe in Egypt, hate Egypt, when it's telling me to stay away from Egypt, but in all realities, everything I do on a daily basis got started in Egypt. It seems kind of hypocritical to me. What happened is I was duped, and I was tricked, because what they knew then is if they can keep me away from Egypt, they will keep me as a slave. I will remain a slave, because I won't go and get any ancient knowledge. I won't understand that what I do on a daily basis today got started in Egypt then, even down to plumbing, irrigation, all of these things. Ain't none of this stuff that these people doing is new. The pyramids were a prime example. It's not new. These blocks, one block on the pyramid is big as my house, big as my apartment. And you're trying to tell me that we're doing something new today that we didn't do then? As a matter of fact, we're dumber today than we were then, because we was able to do those great things, things that people still can't repeat to this day because we are not on one accord anymore. We fell for the divide and conquer. I used to talk the same crap with the divide and conquer. I believed that we was all different until I can go and meet all kinds of Africans and then look at them and say, man, you look like my uncle or my cousin. We all are family. You look at the monuments in Egypt, a lot of the noses are missing. Tells you something. It's this same nose right here. It is us. And what happened was after this council of Nicholas or whatever they call it, after they finally got this thing through in the second council, they began to rewrite the Bible. They began to redo the story. Well, they unglorified Africa and they glorified a little piece of the Middle East, a piece of land which they call the Middle East. They glorified that. It's because that's the land that they was able to take in that time. And they was able to set up their throne with their Mary and their Jesus and all this junk. And they was able to actually give themselves a history as children of God or the original man through that piece of land. And here we are so focused on that little small land, which means nothing. That is not even the original Jerusalem. You got people running off up in there talking about they want to go home or they going home, and that's not even the place. That's not Jerusalem. That's the New Jerusalem. That's something they made up so they will be able to include themselves into the history of the world. But their story is falling apart year by year. It's all falling apart and breaking down. And here I was trying to be jealous of those people, thinking those people was committing such a crime, and the crime was a lot bigger than I thought it was. It wasn't about that land. It still is not about that land. It is about the glory that's given to those people and their ability to make themselves as a god, to be able to trick the world into believing that they are the gods. So now it's like I had got jealous and I wanted what they had. But what they got, they don't even have it. It's nothing. It's nothing. There's nothing great over there in that land. They're doing nothing that it will be remembered 1,000 years from now. They ain't doing none of that right now. So why am I so focused on getting there when first of all it's not my homeland? It's not even the original Jerusalem. And I'm not denouncing Jerusalem at all. I'm not denouncing Yah. I'm not denouncing none of those things. What I'm doing is trying to show you what I realized I was going wrong at. I was still running around praying, trying to live according to this Bible, trying to be this just person, or and all of this stuff, and I kept finding myself being what the Bible called a sinner. I had to realize that is because I was trying to be something that I'm not. That is a lot of stuff that people's made up. The reason why people can't obey those rules is because they're phony. It's a counterfeit. A lot of it is a counterfeit. A lot of it is counterfeit. And they brainwashed and duped us so bad that they said if a brother come to us without that book, then we should not receive that person. I used to believe like that. But then how much knowledge was I suppressing? Keeping myself oppressed by ignoring the knowledge that was coming to me. I enjoy being a spiritual person now. I can look at the world so much different. I can look straight at the world with a smile because I know who I am now. I found myself. It's not about what I'm doing, what I'm saying, because I can do and say what the hell I want. It's my world. This is my body, and I'm only got to answer for myself when I die. Why should I have to go and listen to somebody else? Why should I have to be subject or a slave to somebody else? Why should I? I don't agree. I don't believe that way. No. Why should I have to go listen to a preacher? Because if God got something to say to me, let God say it to me himself. Let me hear this. Because I don't want to hear no he say and she say about God. Because that's all we have to go on right now. Is he say and she say. Even the name that we learn to call on is he say, she say. It was given to us. And the world tells us that we must use that name. Well, whatever created us is not a name. It's greater than a name. It's greater than a book. It's greater than instructions. It's all connection. We're all a part. We're all connected. But we would never be as long as we're choosing to believe other people's or their opinions over what the Spirit tells to us. When I wake up in the morning and I feel like I'm hungry, and I tell my woman I'm hungry, if she look at me and say, no, you ain't, what am I supposed to do? Not eat because she say I'm not hungry? But that's what most people do nowadays. Because when most people go and say, oh, I'm awakened, and I had a dream last night that I should walk away from the Bible. The first thing, the person that you tell that to, if they are people of religion or believe in the Bible, they're going to tell you, oh, that was a demon. How the hell do he know that was a demon? He's the demon for coming in trying to get you for being what you already told yourself that you are. A lot of us can't even notice the world. We walk outside and we can't see nothing but what we are trying to do. We can't see nothing but the car. We go straight to the car. Then when we get in the car, we can't see nothing but the path that we're taking. We can't see nothing outside of that. When we get to work, all we see is the job that we're supposed to be doing. We can't see nothing else outside of the job that we're supposed to be doing. It's because we refuse to wake up and look outside of that box. There's a whole lot more going on. Whether I'm depressed sitting on the couch and don't want to move or not, don't mean the bird's going to stop flying. It don't mean the sun is going to stop shining. It don't mean the moon won't shine again. And then people are running around talking about they hate darkness. Okay, if you didn't have darkness, how could you see the moon? How could you see the stars? How could you do a lot of things that you do, or a lot of things that we do on earth? How could we do it without darkness? We've been led in the wrong way. We want to trust a book over what we know is right. I even hear people talk about logics. How can you talk logics with a book in your hand? Because as soon as you start thinking logics, the book is going to make you feel like you're a devil for thinking logics. The book tells you how to think. And if you don't think the way the book said to think, then you're threatened to go to hell. Why would this God send me to hell? He's supposed to be all-knowing. Why would he waste his time making this earth and waste his time, precious ground and precious air and everything with me, knowing that I'm going to do what I want to do anyway, just to send me to some kind of hell? What kind of God is that? That don't sound like a God to me. That sounds like a man. Because he will put you in hell. That man will. He'll hurt you. He'll put you in prison and everything else if you don't obey the rules. Hey, I get cussed out every day because I don't want to obey the rules of the book no more. Because I woke up. I can see the book now. I got tired of praying without answers. And I got tired of hating my peoples. Every time I hate my peoples, my spirit would let me know I would have bad dreams, and people would come to me and ask me weird questions and stuff about my hate issue. It's not a God to hate your fellow man. Do the birds hate if a dog is brown and he has litter and he only have one brown puppy and all the rest of them white, black, and red and all kinds of other questions, do he kick the rest of them out because they're not brown? I don't think so. He loves them all. And that's the way we are. We Me and my girlfriend can have a white baby right now. We got used to calling it albino, but me and my girlfriend, which is black, we can both black people have a white baby right now. It's possible. Am I supposed to hate that baby because that baby came out white, albino, whatever you want to call it? Should I hate that baby, or should I love my child? There's a lot that we don't have here yet. We're not really connecting there yet. And the only way we can connect here is if we find ourselves first. We got to find ourselves. And if we're looking for ourselves, we got to stop looking in books and stuff trying to figure out who we is. We're never going to find out who we are if we turning pages through books. We got to look within ourselves to find out who we are. We need to sit the book down. I'm not telling you to give up your faith or none of this kind of stuff. All I'm trying to say is for the sake of building up, if we really going to build up a kingdom, for the sake of building up a kingdom, then we need to stop and close the book for a minute, and then we need to, at least before we try to open it up and settle those things, we need to find out who we are, who we want to be. Because if we don't know who we are and we don't have a plan of who we want to be, then everything else is useless. Useless. Your book tells you faith without works is dead. So you can have faith that God is coming to save you, but if you ain't working on God coming here to save us, then your faith is dead. You'll never be saved. You got to put some work in. So we sitting on our ass around here hating each other because somebody chooses to be gay, or because a female chooses to wear weave in her hair, or because somebody want to wear makeup, or because somebody like to hang out with white folks more than they hang out with black folks. I mean, the Bible can give us every reason in the world to hate each other. And that's what it does. It gives us every reason in the world to stay separated. It is a book of separation. It divides. Then it conquers. It doms us. It is the matrix. It have us believing things that are not true. It have us not believing things that is true. Something way wrong with that. It'll have us believing something that we can't see over things that we can see. That is a trick. That is magic. That's voodoo. We got to snap out of it. We got to snap out of it, and we got to go back to the beginning. And I feel like our beginning is in Africa. Africa is the motherland. It is. And we all started right there in Africa. Every man who walks the earth came out of Africa. That makes us all children of the continent Africa. That means we are all family. And we should all love one another. Of course, there would not be a perfect love on earth. It's not possible, because there is good and there's evil, and we have to have the two. We can't live without the two. We must have both love, good and evil. We must have both love and hate. We must have both light and darkness. It makes this world the great world that it is, because without the two, we would get bored real quick and easy. There would be nothing for us to experience on earth. We got to go back. And when we go back, that is the beginning. That's the beginning. That's the beginning of our awakening. The dry bones are coming back to life. The spirit is being placed in the dry bones, and we're coming back to life. The problem is, many people are refusing to come back to life. The spirit is being poured on our flesh right now, and we are being able to dream dreams, prophesize, and do all kinds of other things. But the problem is, people feel like if it's not in the book, they don't want to believe it. Just want to give you something to think about, and give you an idea about where I'm at in my walk now. I'm growing, and I'm not looking back. I'm going forward, and I'm going to take whoever with me who want to go. And I'm going to have to leave behind everybody who don't want to go. But I know I'm moving for the